Hey, what's going on, guys? Alright, today we're taking a look at a Zoids kit, and not just any Zoids kit. This is one of the biggest Zoids kits, one of the largest kits that Kotobukiya makes, I believe. This is the Zoids Kotobukiya HMM Iron Kong PK, which you can kind of see here on the end. We'll take a look at the box. The box is gigantic. It's got a handle on it. You know, anytime a model kit box has a handle on it, you know it's going to be good. It's a big and heavy kit, and there's a ton of stuff in here. It's very large. This is the pink PK version of the Iron Kong. So there's a couple of different versions of this kit out that are available. I just want to say a big special thank you to Kotobukiya for providing this kit to me to share with you guys and to build up. So big thank you to Kotobukiya. I love Kotobukiya, they're awesome, so awesome working with them. Thank you for this kit, and let's go ahead and check it out here for today's video. Alright, so showing you guys this box is not going to be easy just because of how large and heavy it is, but here is the front, which is going to be vertical there, showing the Iron Kong, the titling there at the bottom. But some really cool artwork here. I'll just try to let you guys get a good look at the artwork here for the box. It's really cool. You can see a couple of other units there in the background there and there. I'll just kind of go around the box here. On this side we have this cool illustration of the Iron Kong, a whole bunch of text here, but the illustration there also looks very nice, really highly detailed. On the bottom of the box here we've just got the same titling and artwork. Once again, this is number 42 in the line. On the other end of the box here, photos of the kit front and back when it's all painted up and everything. And then on the back of the box here, some more detail images of the cockpit there. You can get a look at the included water slide decal sheet. It shows you that. And then a nice big reference photo here on the back of the painted model. It lets you know that it's 300 millimeters in total height, 30 centimeters. I don't know why they give it in millimeters always, but 30 centimeters anyway. And then some detail images here of the armaments, the backpack, the missiles there in the shoulder, and these kind of cable bits that go around the side of the back there as well. All right, so let's go ahead and crack the box open. See what we got in here. So, all right, interesting. That's not the top, but we do have a grayscale image here of the Kong on the inside there. And then inside here, it's going to be, it looks like, two separate inner boxes. So I'm wondering how this is separated, if there's any method to why these are separated in this way. All right, and the boxes are not marked either, like A and B. So I think it's just, you know, just a way to put everything in there. Doesn't seem like they're separated, like box A is all the parts for like the internal frame, as it were, like the skeleton, the Zoids frame, and then the other box is all the armor and equipment and everything else. It doesn't seem that way, it just seems kind of random. Let's see, there was no instructions or anything there in that first box, so let's go ahead and check this second larger box. In here, hopefully we'll find our instructions and everything so that we can then check out the runners in just a moment, which there will be a lot of, obviously. There goes the box. All right, here's our instruction manual. There, as always, it's in kind of like a horizontal style. On the back here, you can see some more reference images there of the details and everything else. There's the Zoids core, which is also included. On the inside front page here, a whole bunch of information, a cool kind of image there of the Iron Kong. A bunch of text information there, all in Japanese. Over here on the next page, a breakdown of what all the different sections of the Zoid what all the sections are on the Zoid. And this is kind of cool to see here on the next page. We also have some illustration work. So some illustration work of the head, outside and inside. So a lot of really cool inner details there in the mouth even. And on the next page here too, that continues on with a whole bunch more technical illustrations of the body there, it looks like. So all these really cool mechanical illustrations there of the arms and everything. Really cool to see, I gotta say. Up next then, those are gonna be our parts list, which is going to be pretty long there, 3 pages of parts before we get into the construction. You can see here on the side of the manual shows you how we're going to go through the order, starting off with the head, the weapons, the bust, which would be like the torso, the waist, the arms, and then the legs last. So that's going to continue on here for how many pages? 30 pages once we get to the final assembly here, and then page 31 is a little bit about how some of the parts move and everything, and then we have some more technical illustrations here at the very end. On the last couple of pages here, it looks like more illustrations there of some of the weapons and everything, and then over here of the legs, the feet. So really cool. One more page here of illustration work of the weapons and the backpack and everything. And then we've got our color guide here on the next page, where that's going to go over all of the colors, and decals too, I believe, are also going to be all featured here in this section. So color and decal guide all together. and a little bit about how to put on the decals and some more images of the painted kit, and that's it. All right, and then here is a look at those waterside decals. So it is a pretty large sheet with some different logos and markings, some different caution markings and everything on there. So a lot of really great markings here for this one. That's cool to see. And normally I would go through all the runners in alphabetical order. Because we have so many with this one, I'm just kind of gonna go through all of them. Here is runner C, which is in a gunmetal kind of color, which is going to be the main color for the internal frame kind of structural parts. Here's runner E, a really huge runner here. We have 2 of these for some more of the internal parts there. And one thing that if you guys have ever built any of the Zoids HMM kits, you'll notice is that just there's tons of detail on these kits. Runner F here as well. Again, more internal parts there with a ton of fantastic detail on there. 2 of that F runner also. Runner I here is getting into the main color of the armor, which is definitely a lot more reddish than, it's not as pink as I was thinking that it is, but it's a really nice color here. And again, a ton of detail here on the outside as well as on the inside. Runner J is some more outer armor pieces, some very large ones here too. For that, runner Y, some more internal pieces here, some quite large pieces on there as well. Here is runner A, again, more gunmetal internal structure pieces. Up next here, runners B and D, again, some more internal frame parts there. Runner H looks like it's going to be some parts for the weapons here, possibly. We've got 2 of this H runner. And now that was so far all the runners from the second box, the larger box, and this does seem to be like maybe alphabetical order is how the runners were separated, because I think that was like the first part of the alphabet. Now in the second box, or what we took out first, which is the first box, now we're taking a look at it. Second is the second batch of runners here. It's going to have a bunch more stuff, including a bunch of our polycaps here with this PC runner, and we've got a couple of other PC runners here. All of these polycaps are in a very dark brownish gray kind of color, and we've also got these set of black wires in here as well. Going through some more of the runners. Runner S we have 2 of in a light gray. Runner Z, some more parts here in gunmetal. Runner O, not the English O, Japanese O up there, is in a molded silver, which looks very nice. Runner L here, some more parts in gunmetal. Runner N we have 2 of, some more gunmetal parts here. Same thing here with runner M, a slightly larger runner, but again, we've got 2 of this runner there. Again, just love all the details on these parts. Here's the English alphabet, runner O here for, again, some more parts on gunmetal, and then another Japanese character marked U runner here. For this looks like there might be 2 different tones of gunmetal. Some of them definitely look a lot lighter than others, more like more silvery than others. So I think there's maybe 2 different tones for that internal color there. Up next here is runner W and runner X here. I mean, just look at all the details on there. Got some orange runners here. Runner Q, we've got 1 of. Runner K, we've got 2 of here. Don't know why these are also marked in Japanese. Runner G, we've got 2 of these here. Runner K is some more red armor pieces here. We've got 2 of those, looks like probably for the arms or legs. And then some more molded silver here. We've got runner A, followed by runner E. It does help to know some Japanese katakana here if you can. Runner Ka, we've got 2 of those. And then runner H is another one of our outer armor pieces here in red. And I'm wondering if all the katakana labeled runners are all for the backpack specifically. That's what I'm maybe thinking might be the case. And then we got just a whole bunch of small runners here in bags. So just to kind of go through these. This runner label is Ki here in black. Looks like we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 of those. That's going to be for the piping bits. That's going to be a lot of fun. And then 1 more polycap runner here, PC3 for some more polycaps in gray. Got some clear parts here, clear green, runner Ko, runner V there it looks like, and runner Q1, and then we've got our Zoids core there in clear orange. Runner U for a couple of parts there in light gray. Runner P for a couple of parts there in a light purplish color. Also over here, runner P, it looks like that's going to be our parts for the pilot character there in like a light lavender color. And then runner Sa is another couple of parts there in red. Lastly here, runner T, we've got 2 of there for some parts in a light tan color. Runner R is going to be those like classic Zoids joint caps here, in this case in a dark red. We've got some more over here of those, looks like 3 runners of those. And then runner Q2 is a couple more parts there in gunmetal, and that's it. So, all right, obviously this is going to be a bit of a build. Let me go ahead and work on this, and then we'll take a look at the kit. All right, guys, and here is the Iron Kong all built up. Now, maybe you can see why I say that these Zoids kits from Kotobukiya, the HMM series, are very much like perfect grades, especially the really big ones like this, just because They have so many parts, it's so intricate in the construction of these, so much detailed, and they definitely take a while to put together. Now, all I did here obviously is just snap build the kit. If you were to actually going to be painting the kit, man, I can't imagine what an undertaking it would be to paint a kit this massive, just in terms of the number of parts, the number of details and everything on this. It would certainly be quite the undertaking, but it's a really cool kit here. Let's go ahead and take a closer look at our accessories that we have included here first. Because in fact, we really only have a couple of little accessories, and they're not even really accessories as much as they are just kind of option parts and a couple of little leftover parts. For example, here in the forearm, if you just wanted to have both forearms symmetrical and not have this mounted gun here, you have another one of these just little vent pieces, which is what is just naturally going to be in that hole there if you didn't have the gun mounted on there. And then back there for the back feet, you have options to have this kind of thumb toe, as it were, the big toe or whatever, the thumb of the back feet anyway. Instead of pointing forward, you have this option part to have that pointing straight out. Again, just kind of depending on how you may want to have the kit posed, you can swap that part. And then our last option part really of note is going to be here on the backpack. You have this canopy part that opens up. Inside there's a kind of third pilot character figure inside there. Instead of that, you have the option for just putting this piece inside there, which I guess is just basically if you want to have this as a not a piloted backpack, as it were, you just use this piece in there instead. But I've got the pilot figure in there. And on that note, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the other details, like our pilot figures that we have up around here in the head. So if you open that up, we have two up inside of there, and that will just open and close very nicely. The head also moves up and opens, and one thing that I found particularly kind of funny about this is that there's even the detail of like a tongue piece in there. Hopefully you guys can see. It's going to be kind of hard to see, but even inside the mouth there's like a mechanical tongue inside there, which is kind of funny. But you can see even behind the clear green parts, we have some nice detail in and around these sections, and same for here on the shoulder. The shoulder part does also open up there, and we have some missiles inside. Same thing for around here over on this side. Even though the front detail is going to be different, the inside is the same there with the missiles. You just have this clear part and this big kind of light or camera or something up there on there, which is pretty cool. And as far as other gimmicks and articulation go of this kit, basically everything moves. So the head, like I said, it's going to move up and down. You can also rotate that side to side. Here on the chest, when you swing the shoulder up and out, it moves this whole kind of chest plate right here. And you'll notice these kind of ammo belts that kind of wrap around the body, and in the case of this one, it wraps around here to the forearm mounted gun. In the case of the one on the right side here, this gets kind of difficult to handle here, so bear with me. This wraps around and plugs into the big massive cannon. This is pretty cool how this opens up. So the front part extends out like that, and the back part also extends out, and in doing so it opens up those parts on the top and bottom as well, so that will extend out. And then on the sides of there you have these kind of cameras and more clear green parts on both sides. Actually, if I can get this one over here out as well, there we go. On both sides, that's going to look like that. Again, really cool looking with that fully extended, there we go, fully extended cannon. Certainly very impressive. And then of course all these missiles that you have up here on the top for this part, this does also rotate. So if you wanted it to be in just kind of a different angle like that, or if you preferred it like that, these kind of booster stabilizers up here at the top, also with the little clear green part at the top, which looks really nice, those will move side to side, up and down there like that. And there is also a gimmick that will allow the cannon to move up forward on this articulated arm that it's connected on. You can kind of swing this around and bring this up over the shoulder higher. And also, if you have the backpack just as a separate flyer, you can separate it from the Iron Kong itself and have this as a separate flyer. The cannon will actually fold around to the underside of the flyer, which I'm not going to really bother with at the moment. But yeah, this ammo belt here was interesting because that took so long to put together. There's, I think it was 65 individual pieces on each of the two ammo belts, so times 2, 130 of those pieces that you had to put on there, and you string those along a wire, and it makes for a really cool effect. I mean, it looks very convincing, and it hangs loosely and works really well. But yeah, it definitely took a while to put that section together. And then here in the hands too, of course, we have some nice articulation, of these fingers, but really you're not gonna necessarily use too much of this articulation, I feel like, because you're probably just gonna have these just on the ground as they are. And so on that note, why don't we just go ahead and skip to taking a look at some different poses here with the kit as we can wrap up the review, because like I said, it's a very difficult kit to handle on camera for you guys, but I'll show you some different poses, some different examples of some things that you can do with this. And although you do have a lot of articulation, like I said, it's basically just this big, giant, massive mechanical gorilla. So I mean, there's not necessarily a whole wide range of poses that you're necessarily going to want to do with this. Plus, it's big and heavy. You're not really able to get it up on an action base. I think probably you could get it on some certain like larger action stands maybe, but most likely you're probably just going to be keeping this on the ground. So that's also going to limit your posability of just the variety of poses that you're really able to do with this kit anyway. And I'll also mention that in the manual there are a number of parts that the manual does recommend you to glue, and I just want to let you guys know that you should probably be prepared to glue at least some parts on this. I mean, I've put this together without gluing anything, so you certainly don't need to glue anything, but I would definitely recommend gluing, especially some like little detail parts and things like that, especially non-moving parts. You know, whether you're planning on painting the kit or not is a consideration that you'll have to take into account. If you are planning on painting, obviously you're probably not going to want to glue stuff before you paint it, but either after painting or if you're not planning on painting at all, there's definitely just, if there are little detail parts, like I said, anything that's not moving, I would probably just go ahead and just use a little bit of glue on that, and just your regular Tamiya extra thin cement will work on anything that's not ABS plastic in this. So, and honestly, on the note of painting these kits, like I was saying at the start of the review, it's basically like a perfect grade in the amount of detail and part separation, everything that you have in there. So this is definitely one of those kits that you could just do some panel lining on it and maybe just spray some top coat. And I would, again, just warn you guys, look out for the clear parts. Don't spray any matte top coat on top of those clear parts. Make sure you leave the clear parts off when you're spraying your matte coat. But with just a little bit of panel lining around, well, I think it would be a lot of panel lining because there's a lot of details to fill in, but with all of the details, panel line just with like a panel line marker or something like that, really simple and easy, you could do that. It would take you a while because there's a lot of details there, but that would make the kit look really nice. And then with some top coat on there too, it's a kit that would look absolutely fantastic with pretty minimal work and not having to fully paint it, just because the part separation and the detail, there's just so much there. And as you can see here, even without having done that, the kit looks really incredible just straight out of the box. But if you did want to put in some work and maybe not go the full distance of painting the entire thing, I wouldn't blame you, because like I said, it's a huge kit. You can definitely make this kit look pretty impressive there in your display. So that's about it here for the Iron Kong. Very cool kit. Again, thank you to Kotobukiya for sending this out, letting me check this out. If you guys missed the live stream build of this, it was quite a long build, but you can go back and check that out too if you'd like. That was quite the experience. And of course, if you guys want to check out this kit and some more Zoids kits and everything else from Kotobukiya too, you can check the link in the video description to USA Gundam Store. Got all sorts of these awesome kits there in stock. I would highly recommend checking them out. If you guys have never built one of Kotobukiya's HMM series Zoids kits, I would highly recommend checking out one of them. Maybe not particularly this one if you're not into this one, or if you're not wanting to spend quite that much. There's certainly smaller, cheaper options available, and I would really highly recommend checking one of them out. But that's going to do it for today, guys. Let me know if you have any other questions or comments in the comment section. Thank you so much for your support, whether it be leaving a like on the video, making sure they're subscribed. That's all super appreciated as well. And now that we're done with this guy, we can move on to that guy over there. That's going to be fun. All right, I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.